Hey guys, I'm Paul. I'm definitely not a professional at this YouTube thing, and I'm definitely not an editor. I figured allow you guys to come and join me on a journey as far as I'm a truck driver and I don't get a whole lot of time to exercise. We have some strange hours. Well, I'm sitting here at Walmart right now in the parking lot waiting for my load to be done, and I figured maybe I'll show a couple things that I decided to try to do. I've got some straps, loading straps that go side to side, and maybe you guys can give me the motivation to help get better myself. I feel out of shape. I don't feel like I'm as strong as anymore. I used to do pull-ups, push-ups. I used to be in the military services for the Army, and I used to be pretty strong. Now I'm not. But I figured, we'll talk about truck drivers, maybe a little bit about the military services, maybe some stuff that's been on my mind, get my opinions out there. And some people may not care, and everybody has their own opinion about everything. But we'll see how it goes. Do some stretching, and I'll try to piece this together so it's not so drawn out and dry. All right. Anyways, a lot of people think that being a truck driver is pretty easy stuff, which the hours suck. Like, for instance, I got up at 2 o'clock this morning to head to work. Loaded up my trailer, then ended up dropping off at about 7 o'clock today and parked at the Walmart parking lot. Now I get to sit here for about 7 hours before I pick up the load that is ready. Got some long hours. A lot of these truck drivers back in the past used to try to make more money as much as they can. They actually used to run logbook, paper logs. They used to have 1 to 2, sometimes even 3 logbooks so they could cheat the system. But at the same time, it is important that guidelines are put in place and people don't take advantage. And being a truck driver, there's a lot of safety issues that you got to worry about as far as falling asleep on the road, hitting people. And it's not just like a normal car where if you hit somebody, you could kill a family with a car, but with a truck, you can hit 2, 3 people and kill them. So it's very important to have sleep, rest, whatnot. The other things to think about is maybe some advice for those cars that pass trucks at night. We put the mirrors up, so all we have to do is just turn our heads and we can see in the mirror and see who's beside us or coming up on us. But I found that some people would turn on their high beams and flash the hell out of me where I couldn't hardly see, especially at night. You used to night vision, and bam, you get hit in the face with a high beam. It's great that you let us know that you're right next to us, but just a quick flicker would be nice. Instead of just doing a high beams on, glaring the shit out of me, and I can't see anything. Just give us a quick flicker. I tell you, most of the time we're paying attention. We could be tired. If you're coming up on a truck and you're about to pass them, don't linger there. I know you guys are scared. The trucks are big, and a lot of truck drivers, they give us a lot of hassle on that. But most of the truck drivers are pretty professional. And to be able to handle the fact that, if somebody's passing, we're going to hold it there and let them pass. But just don't linger there. Just pass the guy. Get away from him. Go up ahead. I had issues before where I go to pass somebody. Of course, our trucks are, a lot of company trucks are governed. You know, you got those owner-operators who own their own truck and they're traveling down the highway. Those aren't government. But like, I worked for FedEx and I worked for the Postal Service, and those trucks are government. They can only go so fast. So you pass in a car because somebody's looking at their cell phone or just slowly going slow, and they're not paying attention to speeds, and I get almost past them and they sit there because they speed up more, and I can't go any faster to get ahead of them. And it sucks trying to pass somebody and they're lingering and you're always looking in the mirror trying to figure out what's going on. So it's definitely very difficult. I chose to do calisthenics. Probably didn't even say that right. That's the way I am. Not much of a talker. As you can tell, probably watching this video. It's awkward. I really don't know what to say. But I watched a lot of videos on like Chris Harrier area. You know, he very professional. This guy's jacked, and he's done a lot for a lot of people and teaching them how to do different calisthenics. You don't need weights. You can just use straps to hang on, whatever the case may be. But you pretty much do it anywhere. I mean, come on. I'm sitting here at a Walmart parking lot, standing in my trailer, and I'm exercising, just trying to pass the time. But I served in the Army from 2009 to 2017. I did deploy over to Iraq, and it was tough. It was definitely tough. You know, thing that's kind of awkward for me. So when you got some people, they see your veteran plates on your license plates, or when they used to see me in my uniform, and they're like, "Oh, thank you for your service." Well, I'm not really looking for a thank you, but I appreciate it, but it's kind of awkward at the same time. It's like, oh, okay, thank you. But it is appreciated. But I was a truck driver in the military as well. So when it came down to it, you know, shit's pretty scary at times. You do what you have to do. I joined at a time of war. May not have been as 03 to 06, you know, because their vehicles didn't have up armor. They just had cloth doors and everything. They had to build and improvise their own armor, pretty much. And, you know, IEDs suck. You know, I was in a couple convoys where explosions went off, and thankfully it wasn't me, but at the same time, it still sucked. You know, not a lot of people got seriously hurt, you know, because we had the up armored and the technology, you know. It's definitely interesting. My thoughts on the government and their veterans, I definitely think they could do more. You know, you give what you got to Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam should be able to take care of you, but they give minimum benefits. Lately, they've been better with the medical, as far as physicals and taking care of, you know, x-rays and stuff like that. And they charge me very little, which is nice. Before, they wouldn't even look at you unless you had a medical plan. And or if you're hurt in service, then you can go in and get your LOD, and you know, then you're covered. But they just didn't take care of the combat vets, which my belief is if you got into war as a combat vet during combat, that person should be taken care of. You know, it's a lot of stress, and the environment, and how it can be scary at times, but that's what we do. We buck up and go. We also volunteered. It's not like a lot of us got drafted like back in the day. But, and thank God you got someone like I got, married for 15 years. I was in the service for quite a while, and Yeah, she actually took care of things at home for me. She supported me, and unfortunately, my daughter was born, so it wasn't my son. And taking care of her 3 kids that I married into, they were older. Wife's 10 years older than I am, and I was surprised she didn't go insane. But she supported me. Well, she decided that, enough was enough. She didn't want me to go to another deployment again. So after my 8-year term, said that was enough. I mean, at the same time, didn't really make that much money either in the service. These guys making full time and everything like that. They get BAH housing, they get all this other stuff. Kind of helps alleviate some of the pain, but still not a whole lot. Be nice if they actually took care of us a little bit better. If you went to a combat situation, right now people have to fight tooth and nail just to get a disability benefit to help pay their bills. Granted, people who have shrapnel and whatnot, but there's also emotional things. I've had PTSD when it came to loud noises just cracking off, or large groups. In service, they drill into you. I don't know how it is nowadays. When I was about to leave, things were a little lenient and they had stress cards and all that crap. But whatever. We gotta baby some people, I guess. But I don't know. It's just, I think if somebody went into a combat situation, then they should be compensated for it. They should get like a minimum level of benefits to help them. I can't go into big crowds, too much paying attention to detail, worrying about what anybody else was doing. It's difficult. I don't get into politics because I hate politicians and all that crap. I think they're all dumb. I think they all have their own agenda. I mean, shit. You work for the Senate, what is it, like 2 to 4 years or whatever they do, and they retire. What kind of crap's that? Never even heard of it. It's just crazy. I guess the worst things about being a truck driver is the silence sometimes. All the truck driver gets to do is think. It'd probably be the worst thing for him sometimes. If you got a problem at home or anything going on, that's all you're doing is thinking. Thinking of it. Then you ponder and it just becomes stress. And then you get like some of these people on the roads. It's just a lot of dumb people. I can see them from the truck being an elevated situation. I could actually see cell phones and whatnot. They're being on that, swerving back and forth, and you look down and you're like, get off your cell phone. Shoot, I seen people in dry weather out in the summer in the ditch, in the median. Because they're probably looking at their cell phone, touch that soft dirt on the edge and get sucked right in. People don't pay attention to that stuff. But, basically, with all this, I'm just trying to be motivated, because when I have friends that help me motivate me in the gym, I did really well. I went into service at 130 pounds, 5'7", and after my deployment, I was 160 pounds, and I was pretty rugged then. And now I'm sitting here in the truck driver's seat, we don't really get that many good food to eat. Nothing really that healthy. Go to truck stops, it's always fried food, Burger King, McDonald's. Yeah, I mean, one place I went to had a country kitchen. They made good food, but there's not a whole lot of places. There's not a lot of places for truck drivers to stop either. You take 91 in Vermont, for instance. There's one at the bottom, there's one about midway, and there's one at the top. But nothing in between. I mean, how do we expect to go to the bathroom or do what we gotta do? I know some people ruin that, because not everybody's the greatest. People can suck it sometimes. Truck drivers not always the greatest either. A lot of us are professionals. One thing that does bother me is we should retrain people that come from different areas. It's not because they're not a good driver. It's they got to be accustomed to our road signs and everything. I mean, even cars coming from different areas like Quebec or whatnot. When you come up to a yield sign, you're supposed to yield for oncoming traffic, but people don't do that anymore. It's funny with these circles. My dad did it once. Went around a rotary, slams on the brake coming into the circle, but there was a car coming and he beeps the horn. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? It's like, well, they're supposed to yield. I'm like, no, you got the yield sign on both sides. You should just, you don't know. He just didn't know. It's the same thing. I asked him basic questions like, what's a solid line on the right-hand side? I mean, can you pass it or not? And he's like, well, yeah, everybody does it. No, a solid line is a solid line. You're not supposed to go over it. You tell me you can go over a yellow solid line? No, that's why they got them checkered, saying this is a safe area to pass. Stuff like that people don't know. He didn't even know. I don't know. Definitely got a lot of stuff on my mind. Feel free to write some of your comments or whatnot. Help motivate me. Because strictly just motivation. I'm sure that's a lot of people's problems, not having someone there to push you to do better. I'm so darn tired. I met my wife about 15 years ago, and she had 3 girls already. I had a girl on the way with my ex. We started seeing each other, and I took on the responsibility. I love them all to death, and just how things go. But I bust my butt. We sat there and had a conversation like, well, I can make the most money out of this, and the kids are probably more adapted to her, being a mom and all. So we decided, hell, we'll just have me work and she can stay home with all the kids instead of paying for all the daycare stuff. And it worked out pretty well. Like I said, I'm surprised she hasn't gone insane. But at times she talks to me about the problems that she has with the kids and whatnot, and it's great. It's great to know that. She at least can lean on me a little bit. Even though I'm not around a whole lot, because even though this is a day-to-day job, but they don't, the hours just suck so bad that you don't have enough time to do anything. It just sucks. Yeah, so I figured using these straps to help me. A lot of these trucks that have the holes on the side, so you can put your straps on, so you can strap your cargo and whatnot. I figured the straps right at about $1,500 a piece. That's, pretty decent for me. Last time I weighed myself was 174. So I tried them out the other day a little bit, just see how it is. And it's not a bad idea. I don't know how much weight these things can handle because it's only riveted to the wall, but it's just added help. I found Beast bands. I got a bag of that, so they're just rubber bands that you do some exercises with. So it's pretty helpful. I don't know, just trying to find different ways to do different exercises without having to worry about it. Figured if I can possibly do dips, I found that the hardest part is still, instead of being a steel bar going across, you're worried about steadying yourself as you're doing it. And my left shoulder isn't the greatest. Chris Heria, he actually talked about if you can't do the actual repetition, you do as much as you can and do the regress, where you'll let yourself down. That way you do more of a controlled motion, and you got to do form. It's most important, going back down to the basics, which is great. Well, that guy knows his stuff. Like I said, the biggest thing is motivation for me. I don't even know if this is going to do any good on YouTube anyway, but we'll start somewhere. Yeah, see. I guess I'll just do the regress. But man, right now it's pretty tough for me. I'm worried about hurting my shoulder. That's another thing that's been bothering me, sitting in the truck all the time. Hands hurt, shoulders hurt, lower back pain sitting in a damn chair. This part's tough for me. I haven't done pull-ups or dips in a long time. Just figure I'll get started somewhere to get strength again. I think that's what's wrong with my shoulders, sitting all the time. You don't work on the joint muscles. What else is there to talk about? I have a few other things that bother me. Just haven't really been all the greatest at talking to people. I usually mind my own business. Talk about working hard. Yeah, you do this job. I work like 5 to 6 days a week. Then I was working in a father-in-law's garage. A few hours in the morning to help him out. I ended up going sour and not working out. So I wasn't able to really spend the time to go there because this new job that I got. I want to talk about truck driving as far as contracting. I used to help manage a contractor that worked with FedEx. Did that for 10 years, and it was nice. It was a good job. As long as you came to the understanding that when you're working with a contract as a truck driver, company, owner of a truck company, that contracted business don't care about the drivers. They don't care about the owners of the company. It's because you signed a contract saying you're going to move their stuff for them. They don't care if you have drivers that are sick. They don't care if the drivers had a loss. You have to find a replacement to move that truck. It's all about the truck and the trailer. That freight has to go point A to point B. So they just don't really care. They really don't. And it is business. But you don't stand it. But, you know, they always want the employees to do something, but they're not their own employees. They can't hire or fire them, but in a way they can. You know, it's like, well, we don't want this guy to move our stuff anymore. Well, if that company solely does contracting for that big box company, FedEx, then that guy's out of a job. You know, it's not like the contractor could really find another work for him or something, because he only has that one contract. So there's ways around it, there's loopholes. So if they really want to screw somebody over, they could. Plenty of times I talked about, you know, we don't have the availability of personnel, we can't cover this, can't cover that, you know, because you want us to do extra, and they get all mad and pissy, and all they care about is moving their stuff from point A to point B. They don't care about any other problems. That's the other thing is there's no friendship in business. Few people that I thought were friends ended up pulling the rug right out from underneath you at the last minute. Never even worked out, you know? I have another trailer that I use. It has a railing on the side of the trailer a little higher. And I can do pull-ups. But I figure this will work the shoulders, back. Well, I'm inexperienced. Like I said, I'm not professional. Oh. Well, I figured I'll start somewhere and see how this goes. If you guys want to join me for the journey, great. If not, it's good too. I'm just looking for a little support. If you guys want to watch, let's do it. You guys have a great day.